At exactly 11:11 p.m. on May 10th, heaven decides whether you reap or remain delayed. There is a line drawn across the calendar of heaven. Being not written in ink. It is carved in eternal light. And it falls precisely on May 10th, at 11:11 p.m. That moment is not symbolic, not metaphorical, not an emotional whisper. It is a divine checkpoint, a holy threshold, a sacred hour when heaven, in all its authority, makes a final decision. Will you reap what has been long held up, or will you remain delayed because of distraction, disobedience, or disbelief? Archangel Michael stands with the book of declarations in hand, pages marked, names circled, and hearts under review. The angels are not watching you passively. They are measuring your alignment. Everything you've endured, everything you've carried in silence, every moment you've stayed faithful in the fog is being brought to remembrance. But so is every time you hesitated when you should have moved. Every time you spoke when silence was your sword. Every time you tolerated delay as if it was a destiny. Heaven is not cruel. Heaven is precise. And when 11:11 strikes, there will be no confusion. What belongs to you either arrives, or it remains locked in a realm you can't access until you're ready. This moment is sacred. This moment is coated with divine intent. For some, it will be a release of promises, answers long prayed for, doors long closed, finally swinging wide open because the timing and the character finally agree. But for others, it will be another extension, another pause, another repeat of the same lesson cloaked in a new disguise. The reason: misalignment, fear, the need to control what must be surrendered. Archangel Michael does not bring this message lightly. He brings it with fire in his voice and protection in his wings. He brings it with the authority of one who has seen timelines split in a single heartbeat. And he warns, this hour will not wait for indecision. The number 11:11 is not an aesthetic moment on the clock. It is a call. It is a spiritual alignment code. It is the number of awakening. Heaven has been waiting to align you with your reward, but it cannot reward what is not positioned. And that is why this moment demands more than excitement. It demands readiness. It demands surrender. It demands awareness of the atmosphere. Every angel is being briefed. Every demon is trying to distract. And you must choose which voice you obey in these final hours. Type "I align with heaven's timing" in the comments. Blessing code 1111 is already unfolding over your timeline. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, not quietly, not subtly, but with the full weight of divine urgency in his voice. He says, be alert. Be still. Be watchful. Something is shifting in your atmosphere. And if you blink, if you rush, if you dismiss this message as another moment, you will miss the movement meant for you. At exactly 11:11 p.m. on May 10th, the realm of heaven will evaluate your heart, your habits, and your harvest. This is not about punishment. This is about precision. The wind is not against you. It is testing your roots. Michael speaks from a high place, not just to inform you, but to warn you. Time is not your enemy. Misalignment is. You are being called into a holy stillness, a sacred posture, because heaven does not deliver blessing into the hands of the distracted. At this very hour, angels are recording your response, your attitude, your willingness to remain grounded, even when the world screams for reaction, your ability to stay planted, even when storms threaten to uproot you emotionally, and above all, your refusal to doubt, even when clarity hasn't yet shown its face. The enemy knows how close you are. That's why the confusion has increased. That's why the warfare has become personal. That's why familiar people are acting like strangers, and strange spirits are trying to seduce you back into cycles you already outgrew. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is spiritual intelligence. Heaven sees what's been sent against you, but heaven also sees what's been promised to you. And right now, at this very hour, it is being weighed. You are not forgotten. You are being watched, but not for destruction, for decision. Michael says, this is not about whether you're worthy. It's about whether you're ready. You were not brought this far to break. You were not trained in silence to crumble in noise. You were not stretched in private to be overlooked in public. What's coming to you has your name on it, but heaven will not release it into hands that are still entangled in yesterday. Let go. Be still. Trust the shift. Because this is not a warning to instill fear. It is a call to readiness, a call to attention, a call to maturity. The ones who will receive on May 10th are not the loudest. They are the most aligned. Type I am ready for my release in the comments. Blessing code 1212 is already sealed on your name. The atmosphere around you has changed, and whether you've noticed it or not, there are eyes on you. Some curious, some jealous, some plotting in silence. As May 10th approaches, as 11:11 p.m. draws near, the realm of heaven sees the intentions of every heart around you. Archangel Michael speaks with clarity. Someone is misreading your silence. Someone is assigning meaning to your absence. And someone is talking like they know your journey, but they have never walked a mile in your shoes. There is a disruption rising, not just around you, but because of you. Because your stillness is stirring the insecure. Because your progress, even when quiet, is too loud for those who never believed you'd last this long. Conversations are happening. Conversations without your name, but about your name. Conversations shaped by fragments, by half-truths, by assumptions cloaked as concern. Someone thinks they've uncovered the reason for your recent silence, but they've only seen a shadow. Someone believes they've decoded your path, but they've never seen your pain. And now, they talk as if they've read your soul, when they can't even see your spirit. But heaven sees it all. Heaven knows the narrative. Heaven knows what was said behind your back, and what was whispered in places your feet never entered. And heaven is not blind to betrayal disguised as observation. Archangel Michael speaks directly to you. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not overreacting. The spiritual tension you feel is real. Someone is observing you through a lens of bitterness. They don't want your position. They want your peace. And what they couldn't understand, they chose to label. They couldn't grasp how you kept showing up. They couldn't comprehend how you kept rising when everything should have crushed you. So now, they whisper explanations for your survival that make them feel safe. And yet, not one of them has endured the fire you did with grace. That is why heaven defends you. That is why Michael was sent, to cut through the fog of misinformation and make it clear, you are not what they say. You are what heaven declared. The disruption isn't just emotional. It's spiritual. You've stepped into territory that exposes insecurity. You've taken a posture that unsettles the atmosphere. And now, confusion surrounds those who tried to box you in. That's why suddenly, people have gone silent. That's why old connections feel strained. That's why the ones who used to celebrate you now sit quietly as you rise. Because they thought they knew you. They thought they defined you. But they didn't see the transformation. They didn't witness the crushing. They didn't understand the oil that only comes from pressure. And now, they are uncomfortable with your glory because it reminds them of their own refusal to grow. The emotional disruption you feel is not yours to fix. It's heaven's way of separating you from the voices that cannot follow where you're going. The divine delay you once called punishment was protection from these very voices having access to your next. You don't need to argue. You don't need to explain. You don't need to chase down every distorted version of your story floating through broken mouths. You just need to stay aligned. Because as 11:11 p.m. approaches, what they said will be silenced by what heaven reveals. The lie will collapse under the weight of your fruit. Your life will testify louder than their words. And those who misunderstood you in this season will witness your elevation in the next. This disruption is not sabotage. It is sacred separation. It is heaven clearing the air around you, so that when the promise drops, it lands in peace, not in polluted space. The chaos is confirmation. The gossip is evidence. The misunderstanding is validation. You are on the right path. And if you hold still, if you don't react, you will walk right into everything they said you'd never have. Because heaven doesn't need their permission to bless you. It only needs your obedience. Type I am unbothered by the whispers in the comments. Blessing code 1717 is removing confusion and restoring clarity now. Archangel Michael declares with clarity, this isn't personal, it's spiritual. What you're experiencing isn't about personality, preferences, or petty issues. This is about purpose. The conflict you've endured, the tension you felt rising, the moments that felt like sabotage in slow motion, they are symptoms of a deeper struggle, a heavenly disturbance. You're not just under attack because of who you are. You're under pressure because of what you carry, because of what's about to be released into your hands at 11:11 p.m. on May 10th, a realm you've not yet walked into, but hell already senses you're approaching, and it's panicking. You see, light always agitates darkness, and when heaven decides to pull someone into prominence, the shadows respond with desperation. Every conflict you've faced lately, every strange fallout, every confusing turn of events, it's not punishment. It's spiritual resistance. You are not being targeted by accident. You are being located by destiny. And the friction in your life is proof that your name has been mentioned in heavenly places. The whispers in your circle, the tension in your workplace, the shift in people's behavior, they are not coincidences. They are reactions. Reactions to your light. Reactions to your growth. Reactions to the increase on your name that hasn't even arrived yet, but is already radiating through your obedience. Archangel Michael affirms, you are chosen. You are set apart. You are not like the rest, and that is not a flaw. That is your calling. You weren't designed to fit in with every frequency. You weren't built to settle into spaces that drain your discernment. You weren't created to remain where your spirit has already outgrown the atmosphere. This conflict was divinely permitted to show you who cannot handle your next level, who cannot go where you're going, who was sent for a season but not sanctioned for the elevation. And sometimes, heaven allows the friction to expose what you would have never seen without pressure. This is a divine filter, a divine shaking. And every confrontation you've experienced recently is a manifestation of heaven cleaning your space. Not as punishment, but as preparation. You can't take confusion into clarity. You can't bring double-minded people into a single blessing moment. You can't walk into your reaping season weighed down by alliances that heaven never approved. So heaven is using the conflict. Heaven is revealing hearts. Heaven is silencing the noise. And while you may feel like you're losing people, opportunities, or favor, you are actually gaining alignment. You are anointed. You are spiritually sealed. You are protected by an authority higher than your understanding. And the enemy knows it. That's why the attacks feel heavier. That's why the distractions are getting more subtle. That's why old temptations are reappearing in new disguises. Because hell cannot remove your favor, but it will try to remove your focus. But you are wiser now. You are more grounded. You are no longer giving emotional energy to spiritual battles that were meant to be fought through stillness, not striving. You've matured beyond the need to defend your anointing. At 11:11 p.m. on May 10th, heaven will open scrolls and check alignment. Will your heart still be entangled in unnecessary arguments, in old wounds, in spiritual clutter? Or will your hands be clean, your mind at peace, and your heart wide open for what's next? Because when the decision is made, it won't be based on your emotions. It will be based on your obedience. And conflict, right now, is the training ground. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. You are chosen. You are covered. You are being prepared for something so precise that the enemy had to send confusion to distract you. But Archangel Michael says, no more overreacting. No more explaining. No more entertaining spirits that were only sent to drain, not deliver. You are not here to fight shadows. You are here to shine. And when you do, everything meant to harm you will fall back in defeat. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. Archangel Michael speaks not with fear, but with focused urgency. There is movement in the shadows, and it is not by accident. What's being stirred right now is designed to provoke you out of position. As May 10th draws near and the hands of the clock prepare to align at 11:11 p.m., the spirit realm is shifting. Not in silence, but in strategy. And you, beloved, are not being left unaware. You are being given insight, foresight, and divine foresight so that you will not be caught off guard. Because the enemy is plotting, but heaven is preparing. There is a strategy to remove you from alignment by triggering your emotion. But Archangel Michael warns, do not take the bait. Someone is preparing to confront you, not in love, not in humility, but in subtle sabotage cloaked as concern. A message may come. A call may ring. A voice from your past may rise up in this very hour. They will not announce their agenda. They will appear as if seeking peace, seeking closure. But beneath the surface lies a distraction, crafted to pull your spirit into a spiral of reaction. They want a response. They want to pull you out of character. They want to shake the foundation of your peace because they see what's coming. They feel the release you're standing next to. And so they've positioned themselves as an interruption, sent not by heaven, but permitted as a test. Do not entertain confusion. Do not answer drama. Do not argue for your worth. The moment you open the door to distraction, you close the window of release. Archangel Michael makes it clear. The next 72 hours will determine whether you reap or remain delayed. Yes, that's how close you are. Yes, that's how sensitive the atmosphere has become. Your next level is within reach, but so is the snare. The person who once had access to you but lost it by their own hands is watching from a distance, growing bitter. And in their confusion, they believe they are justified in stirring trouble. They've rewritten the story in their mind. And now, they want to provoke you into playing a part in their narrative. You are not their closure. You are not their punching bag. You are not responsible for restoring what heaven already severed. The reason you felt that rising in your spirit, the restlessness, the strange heaviness, the emotional edge, is because your spirit senses the confrontation forming. But you are not powerless. You are protected. You are not a victim. You are a vessel being guarded by heaven itself. You don't have to respond to every accusation. You don't have to defend every move. Your silence is not weakness. It is warfare. It is heaven's signal that you trust God more than gossip, that you choose peace over pettiness, that you are focused on your alignment, not their attention. The enemy is desperate. It's not just a message, it's a setup. It's not just a conversation, it's a clock trying to pull you off divine timing. But you have grown. You have matured. You fought too hard to slip into emotional traps in your reaping season. This is not your old self. This is not your old cycle. And this is not your old timeline. This is a threshold. And if you hold your peace, if you stay grounded, if you let heaven do what heaven does best, defend, protect, and vindicate, you will walk into 11:11 p.m. on May 10th with clean hands and a ready heart. Archangel Michael leans close in spirit and says, resist the urge. Refuse the reaction. Watch how the lie collapses under its own weight. Because while they plan a confrontation, heaven is preparing a coronation. You are not entering this season to explain. You are entering to receive. And the one who rises against you in accusation will soon fall back in reverence when heaven lifts you in front of them. But only if you do not let them provoke the old you. Only if you stand still and let God be your answer. Type I will not be moved in the comments if you're holding your ground. Blessing code 2121 is forming a hedge of protection around your name. Archangel Michael now speaks as the guardian, not just of your journey, but of your very soul, and his words come like the sound of a sword drawn in silence. Stay grounded, he says, for the battle is no longer yours to fight. The courtroom of heaven is in session, and your name has already been spoken in favor. This is not the hour for you to defend yourself. This is not the time for you to make noise in response to the noise around you. Heaven is loud enough on your behalf. The divine is not asking you to explain. It is asking you to trust. Trust what's been set in motion. Trust what you cannot yet see but feel pressing against your spirit like a whisper laced with fire. Heaven's instruction to you in this moment is very clear. Be still. Not because stillness is weakness, but because stillness is strategy. When you are still, you shift the battle into a higher court. When you are still, you signal to the atmosphere that you are not ruled by impulse but governed by insight. And when you are still, you free your angels to do what only they can do. Fight in dimensions your hands could never reach. Archangel Michael reminds you, there is a war you cannot win by words. There is a war you cannot win by reaction. This war will only be won by reverence. Now is the time to keep your focus like flint. Your attention is sacred. Don't spend it cheaply. Don't waste it explaining your peace to people who profit from your chaos. Don't dilute your energy trying to manage perceptions that were never aligned with your truth. The enemy wants you drained before the release. That's why the distractions feel more personal. That's why your peace is being poked at. But the truth is, your silence is rattling more than your words ever could. The darkness that surrounds you right now doesn't know how to handle your peace. Because peace is power. Peace confuses the spirit of drama. Peace is a weapon forged in the secret place, and it strikes with surgical precision when wielded by the righteous. Heaven says, let your silence be your sanctuary. Do not revisit conversations heaven already closed. Do not attempt to salvage Connections God severed for your protection. Let what left stay gone. Let who misunderstood remain confused. You don't need closure where God gave you deliverance. You don't need validation where you've been given revelation. And you don't need anyone's permission to walk into a season that was custom built for your growth. Be grounded. Be focused. Be relentless in your stillness. Because only those who can endure peace will be trusted with power. You are being cloaked in a new level of discernment. Don't ignore it. You are being protected from wars that would have devoured your spirit 6 months ago. Don't run back into the battlefield out of guilt. Heaven has sealed the door for a reason. Your destiny cannot afford another detour. And on May 10th at 11:11 p.m., the ones who remain still will be the ones heaven crowns. Your stillness is your signal to heaven that you are aligned. It is not passivity, the prophetic posture. Michael's voice is like a sword cutting through chaos. Let heaven fight for you. You are not alone. You are not unprotected. You are not uncovered. You are surrounded, shielded, and sealed by the hand of God Himself. You are not falling behind. You are falling into place. Your strength is not in your volume. It is in your vision. You are being trusted with silence because what is forming in secret will shake the visible realm. Let heaven finish what it started. Don't step in. Don't argue. Don't descend to defend. Ascend through stillness. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way and keeps this mission alive. Type "My stillness is my strength" in the comments if you're choosing peace. Blessing code 1818 is anchoring divine favor over your next 7 days. Archangel Michael now raises his voice, not in warning, but in declaration. You are no longer who they thought you were, he announces, and the heavens echo in agreement. The war you survived, the silence you endured, the losses you never advertised, these have shaped you. They forged you. And now, the version of you rising is not a weaker version bruised by betrayal, but a warrior refined by purpose. You didn't collapse. You didn't curse the fire. You surrendered to it. And in doing so, you became the very weapon the enemy feared you'd never discover. You are rising, not emotionally, not temporarily, but spiritually. The breaking didn't destroy you. It introduced you to your core. What you're becoming is too sacred to be reduced to past perceptions. They knew the version of you that needed validation. They don't recognize the version of you that walks in discernment. They knew the you that was always available. They can't comprehend the you that now guards your time with heaven's precision. I knew the dreamer, but they never met the doer. And Archangel Michael speaks over you now. The shift is not coming. It has already begun. What was once broken is now being rebuilt with divine reinforcement. The cracks are no longer signs of weakness. They are proof that light lies within you. The fear that once ruled your decisions has lost its voice. You are no longer apologizing for the weight you carry. You are no longer shrieking to protect others from the power of your truth. And you are no longer dimming your flame to keep familiar company comfortable. That season is over. That version of you has expired. And as 11:11 p.m. on May 10th draws near, you are standing in the final moments of the shell you've outgrown. Michael makes it clear they can't touch what God has sealed. You were sealed in fire. You were hidden in pain. You were incubated in silence. But all along, you were being prepared for exposure. And not just any exposure, strategic, intentional, heaven-ordained revealing. You were not skipped. You were safeguarded. You were not denied. You were delayed for maturity. And now, the maturity is evident. It's in your posture. It's in your restraint. It's in your refusal to react. That is how heaven knows you're ready. Not because of how loud your praise is, but because of how still your spirit has become. And now, it is time to step fully into this empowered state. No more negotiating with your past. No more asking for clarity from people committed to misunderstanding you. No more downplaying your call because others fear their own. The storm you survived wasn't sent to break you. It was designed to uncover you. The pressure you endured was heaven pressing the oil from within you. And now, the world is about to smell the fragrance of your endurance. Your voice is clearer. Your vision is sharper. Your purpose is louder than your pain ever was. And your presence is no longer something you give freely. It is something heaven assigns. Michael reminds you, your enemies never had the power to define you. They were only permitted to test the parts of you that needed strengthening. And now, you are strong. Not because you avoided battle, but because you survived it. You are wise, not because you heard truth, but because you live it. You are chosen, not just by title, but by fire-tested character. The elevation coming is not just physical, it is internal. You're rising because your foundation is now unshakable. You're reaping because your roots didn't rot during the storm. You didn't lose. You learned. And now, you launch. Type I rise through the fire in the comments. Blessing code 2323 is releasing divine restoration and reversal in your atmosphere now. Archangel Michael now stands with full authority, wings extended wide, the sword of truth gleaming in celestial fire. His voice no longer warns, it confirms. It is done, he speaks. The scales are tipping. The hour is set. The decision has been made in realms unseen, and heaven has declared, those who remain still, those who endured silently, those who aligned faithfully, shall now receive what was withheld. There is no more striving, no more waiting for signs. The shift is happening, not later, not eventually, but now. May 10th at 11:11 p.m. is not a forecast. It is a final act. Everything has been building to this moment. The tears, the warfare, the emotional heaviness, the spiritual pruning, it was not without purpose. It was the divine setup, the preparation before placement, the calibration before coronation. And now, the portals of heaven are opening in precision, not in pity. This is not a blessing given out of mercy. It is a harvest commanded by obedience. Archangel Michael says, this is your reward, not for perfection, but for perseverance. You stayed in place when it hurt. You kept believing when nothing made sense. You trusted the silence. And now, heaven is about to make noise on your behalf. Prophetically, someone is about to come forward, unexpected, unprompted, and undeniably aligned with your next. Someone who carries what you lacked. Someone who sees what others miss. Someone who will testify to what you held in silence. God is sending voices into rooms your name has not yet entered physically, but spiritually. Those rooms have already been filled with your presence. Vindication is not coming in loud explosions. It will come in quiet authority. Suddenly, the lies will collapse. Suddenly, the doors will open. Suddenly, the very thing that was closed off to you will feel drawn to you. And it won't make sense in the natural, but in the spirit. It is perfectly timed. Your pain has been converted into a platform. Your faith has become your currency. And now, the currency is maturing. You will see transactions take place, divine exchanges, heavenly orchestrations that take what you released in faith and return it pressed down, shaken together, and running over. People will say it happened overnight, but you and heaven will know this was years in the making. This was the long game. This was the legacy promise. This was the moment coded into your spiritual DNA. Archangel Michael wants you to know that nothing was wasted. Not one tear. Not one betrayal. Not one sleepless night. It was all added to your heavenly account. And now the withdrawal is being released. You will feel it in your sleep. You will wake up with clarity. You will see patterns break without effort. You will notice divine ease replacing warfare. The Spirit of God is hovering over your atmosphere with wings of restoration. And everything that was once delayed is now being brought forward. Not just to make up for lost time, but to propel you beyond time. What should have taken years will now unfold in days. This is your transformation. The edges are falling off. The old season is disintegrating. Your name is glowing in the spirit realm with divine urgency. Angelic scribes are writing new assignments. Angelic escorts are being released. The room is ready. The table is set. And your enemies are not being removed. They are being seated. Not to harm you, but to witness you. Because the ones who tried to delay you must now watch God deliver you. If you feel led to help keep these prophetic messages flowing, consider sending a super thanks or a super chat. Your $10 or $20 gift empowers this mission and extends the message to those who need it most. Your support means everything. Type "My breakthrough is now" in the comments. Blessing code 7777 has entered your atmosphere. Divine restoration is sealed. The Spirit of the Lord is stirring, and Archangel Michael, standing in the full brilliance of divine instruction, now speaks directly into the core of your being. Do not let this word pass you by unsealed. This is not a casual moment. This is not a feel-good message to inspire fleeting emotions. This is a divine alignment call, a spiritual summons, a holy activation of what has been dormant within you. The moment you engage with it, intentionally, deliberately, you partner with heaven. You pull prophecy from potential into manifestation. You move from waiting for change to becoming the very vessel change flows through. This is why you must respond, not with passivity, but with power. Not with hesitation, but with holy boldness. The window is open. The scrolls are being finalized. The angels are moving. At exactly 11:11 p.m. on May 10th, the decision will not be delayed. It will not be postponed. It will not wait for your emotions to catch up. Heaven moves when obedience aligns. And right now, your activation matters. Archangel Michael says, type your agreement. Speak your alignment. Declare your inheritance with your own voice. Because your words carry weight. Your declaration carries agreement. Your action shifts atmosphere. This is not about public performance. This is about spiritual positioning. When you declare amen, when you write I receive, when you speak I align, you are not just typing words, you are erecting altars. Invisible altars. Holy landing zones for angels to deliver what has been held back. Every act of response is a signal to heaven. I am ready. Every declaration is a spiritual signature that marks your name for movement. There are angels waiting on instruction, and your agreement is the command they've been assigned to obey. You waited. You've cried. You believed. But now, it's time to act. Let no doubt linger. Let no fear silence your voice. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not disqualified. You are right on time. And this moment has been set aside for those who dare to step boldly into spiritual alignment. Don't miss it because of silence. Don't forfeit it because of fear. Don't delay your release because of pride. Heaven is not looking for perfection. He is looking for participation. This is the part where you activate what has been declared over your life. This is where you move from just listening to living it. You were not meant to stand at the edge of the promise and hesitate. You were created to enter. The enemy wants you passive. He wants you paralyzed by overthinking. He wants you silent, because silence at the moment of instruction equals spiritual forfeiture. But Archangel Michael is here now to shake you free of that hesitation, to call you forth, to tell you with divine authority, this is your moment. Do not let it pass. So open your mouth. Type the words. Write your agreement in the comments like it is a covenant between you and God. Because it is. Every time you respond, you deepen your connection to what's been declared. Every time you say yes, heaven records your obedience. Every time you proclaim, it is mine, heaven prepares it for delivery. Do not underestimate this moment. Do not treat it like common instruction. You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble across this word. Heaven ordered your steps so that you would be in position to receive it and respond to it. You have come too far. You had endured too much. You have waited too long to stand still at the doorway. The harvest is ready. The angels are ready. The hour is marked. Now, you must respond. Type I align with heaven's decree in the comments if you know this word is yours. Blessing code 3030 is now unlocking access to delayed blessings. Archangel Michael now speaks with the calm authority of one who has seen the end from the beginning. His words no longer carry the weight of warning, they carry the sound of fulfillment. The courtroom of heaven is still. The scrolls are nearly sealed. The hour of decision draws near. And as the hands of time approach 11:11 p.m. on May 10th, he turns to you. Yes, you, and says with unwavering clarity, you are not a victim. You are the revelation. Let those words settle deep into your spirit, because they were not spoken lightly. They were forged in the presence of God, written across your destiny, and delivered now as a sacred reminder. You have not just survived. You have been sanctified. They whispered that you were finished. They thought the silence meant defeat. They assumed your stillness was weakness. But they did not know what heaven was building in the background. They didn't hear the conversations happening in the divine realm. They didn't see the angels dispatched on your behalf. They didn't sense the fire forging your character. They didn't know that while they were gossiping, heaven was gathering your fragments, gathering your prayers, gathering your tears like holy currency. And now, everything they missed is about to be revealed through you. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them sit in silence when your name is honored in rooms you've never entered. You don't need revenge. You don't need vindication through their apology. You don't need closure from those who shattered you. Your restoration is not dependent on them. It's been authored by God. You are not the version they remember. You are not the label they placed on your back. You are not the story they told without your voice. You are light in human form. You are a scroll wrapped in skin. You are heaven's answer to a realm that thought you would never rise again. Archangel Michael says, your rise was prophesied. Your pain was not in vain. Your future is sealed. And nothing they say, nothing they do, and nothing they send can reverse what has now been set in motion. Your alignment has been verified. Your obedience has been recorded. Your posture has positioned you for fulfillment. You don't need to chase. You don't need to explain. All you need to do now is rest. Rest in the knowledge that heaven has your back, that the decision has been made, that what once felt out of reach is about to land in your hands. You are not late. You are right on time. You are not overlooked. You are divinely observed. You are not forgotten. You are freshly anointed. This is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of the real beginning. The warfare was never about your present. It was always about your potential. The devs came out because of what you had, but because of what was coming. And now it's here. Heaven is declaring final decisions. The seals are being stamped. The rewards are being released. And your name has been approved. So take a breath. Hold your head high. And step into this moment as the warrior you truly are. No more thinking. No more explaining. No more rehearsing old pain. The fire that tried to destroy you has only made you shine brighter. The storm that tried to drown you only revealed your anchor. The loss that tried to empty you only expanded your capacity to receive more. This is your moment. This is your confirmation. This is your harvest. Let this be the final word in your spirit today. You are not the delay. You are the divine delivery. You are not waiting on heaven. Heaven is responding to you. You are not unfinished. You are unfolding. You are not invisible. You are invincible in the hands of God. Type "I am the revelation" in the comments if you've received this word into your spirit. Blessing code 8888 is now marking you with divine favor that cannot be reversed.